Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the
Both
line.
feet.
Both feet. Like my dad says, sometimes you just got to say F it and jump in. F-I-J-I. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com is on the line with me. And I don't know why I've kind of got the old-time announcer voice, but I feel like there's a catch in my throat and I can't get rid of it. I know that sounds weird.
Ooh.
Anyways, hi.
That's what happens when your voice is your tool, so to speak.
Yes, my tool. Yes. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com. Did you see Beavis and Butthead yet?
Rare form. No, I have
Oh,
not.
damn it, dude. Come on.
I need to find time and renew my Paramount.
Oh, you suck so bad.
Paramount, please sponsor us. Paramount Plus, please sponsor us. We'll talk about Paramount Plus in exchange for Paramount Plus, Paramount Plus.
I know, I would. Well, I mean, considering how many shows I watch off Paramount Plus, you would think. I had a buddy, for radio purposes, because we had to talk about it all the time. He wrote everything off on his taxes. Everything.
See, I used to be able to do that, but for some reason I can't now. Like, I went to my accountant this year, and he's like, yeah, we can't write it off your taxes anymore.
Huh, interesting. Weird.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, anyways, what the hell are we
honestly,
talking about? Movies or something?
Yeah, but one last thing I will mention while we're talking about it, I do think that Paramount Plus is one of the better streaming services that's out there because of the fact that they're one of those studios that has such an extensive back catalog, and they have the rights to most of it. That you've got all that Star Trek on there, you've got Mission Impossible on there, you've got a Beavis and Butthead on there.
Yeah.
You've got stuff like SpongeBob. They've really come a long way from, I remember when it first started, they didn't have a queue. Like, they didn't have a queue you could put things into, but they changed that quick enough, and it's Paramount, HBO Max, and Disney Plus are, I think, three of the best investments people can make in terms of streaming, because it's those proprietary libraries that you can dip into and not have to worry, for the most part, about, oh, is this going to get pulled or is that going to get pulled? I mean, they'll probably still pull stuff because they want to cycle things up and, switch things around so it generates interest. But for the most part, all the Disney stuff's on Disney Plus and so forth.
We should. You didn't watch Miss Marvel, did you?
No, I didn't, but I've heard whispers of what was shown off in the finale.
Okay, we might get to that here a little bit later on. Yeah, we might get to that a little bit later on too. Anyways, going back to the Paramount stuff.
I want to watch it, but
they got a huge back catalog, but they also put out a lot of great new stuff. So
they also have a new movie coming in a couple months that they just dropped a trailer for.
Really?
Yeah. Did you ever see Orphan?
I'm guessing it was about an orphan.
All right. Anyway, so there was a horror movie in 2009 called Orphan,
okay.
And then years down the line, they decided to make a prequel. And it was supposed to be released in theaters back in January, but no one heard hide or hair of it. And it's like, okay, is this still happening? And then it was announced yesterday that Orphan First Kill, the prequel, is going to be going to limited theaters, VOD, and Paramount Plus, all on August 19th.
Okay.
Now, the fun thing about this is the star of the series Orphan is Isabelle Fuhrman. She's a young actress who I think she was Esther in Orphan back in 2009. She is now playing the character again in her mid-20s, all these years later. This is supposed to be like a young girl, and there's certain twists in the story I won't go into it because the first one's streaming on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
And I need to see it myself, but I had it spoiled for me. But there's basically making a prequel to a movie that came out in 2009 when she was still a young girl. She's still playing the role with no CGI. It's basically makeup tricks, body doubles, and like forced perspective, like filmmaking, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Like apparently she went to a Halloween party dressed as her character, and I think sent the pictures over to the people making the movie, and she basically proved to them that she could do it.
That's interesting. Hopefully it's better done than the Stranger Things stuff, because when they tried to make Elle look younger, it came out a little wonky, right?
Yeah. It's like it chapter 2 all over again.
Yeah, it was. It was just.
It was just like you could. It was weird.
Yeah. No. Let's. Yeah.
Really weird.
Anyways, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. What's funny about this whole thing is we were going to. Like, the big thing was we're going to talk about coffee to get things kind of up and running, and We just blew right past that. We should probably get to a movie. Gray Man. You saw it this week, right?
Yes, I did. So here's something fun about the Gray Man, besides the fact that it rules. You will be able to see this on Netflix next week.
Oh, really?
That's great. That's fine. And yes. However, if you have an independent theater chain in your area, like I have a Cinemark that's like maybe 45 minutes from me that's going to be showing this. It is going to be in theaters this weekend.
Okay.
I heavily encourage people to go to the theater and see this movie if they can, if they feel safe to do it, because the Russo brothers have once again proven that they know how to fill a screen. And just quick background of the Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony, they were the directors behind Captain America Winter Soldier, then went on to do Civil War, and then were given the keys to the kingdom and did Infinity War and Endgame. And they had their, I'm trying to remember the name of their writers because I always get it mixed up. Because they had the same, it was basically from Winter Soldier on, the movies that they did, they had the same writing team with them. And Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, that's who it is. So Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely have been their team from like the word go when it comes to Marvel stuff. And now, yes?
Oh, I saw a really great quote about the Russo brothers this week.
Okay.
And it has to do with Marvel movies. And I don't mean to interrupt, but I think it fits. The Russo brothers did such a good job with Endgame that every Marvel movie after it seems like a side quest on a video game.
I don't think that's totally their doing. I think it's also the fact that that first arc really got us used to episodic storytelling and got us used to expecting Marvel to know what they're doing and to be paying that off constantly and setting it up. Whereas beginning of Phase 4 feels like the beginning of Phase 1. And some people are like, oh yeah, well, trust the process. And it's like, no, after all this time that they set up the process, it feels like the process has been abandoned.
Anyways, all right, so we should let's get back to Gray Man. We're all over the place today.
Herding cats, but you know what? That's the flow of the conversation. People will listen. So
sure they will.
The Russos after Endgame went and did Cherry, which I was not a fan of at all. In terms of directors, that was the first movie they directed after Marvel, and just was not a big fan of that, really. But then Joe Russo goes and writes Extraction, which was a hit for Netflix. And then Joe Russo worked with Marcus and McFeely on Gray Man. And this is based off of a series of novels by author Mark Greaney. It focuses on court gentry, also known as Sierra 6, played by Ryan Gosling. He's a part of a special CIA Black Ops team who's basically sent in to do the dirty work. Okay. And when a mission sort of gives him information he should not have, he is officially a marked man. And the person leading the charge against him is Lloyd Hansen, psychotic man played by Chris Evans, who is basically throwing every resource he can at him to try and get this information from out in the open and kill him by any means. And this is the Russo brothers destroying a $200 million Lego set on screen. It is the most expensive Netflix movie ever made. It shows every penny on the screen. They are globetrotting through different regions of the world and just laying waste to places through action scene after action scene. It really feels like the Russo brothers took their Marvel education and put it to its best use here, because action-wise, this thing is non-stop. There's this huge sequence in Vienna where like part of it is, Ryan Gosling's being chased by these guys on a train. And there's this amazing moment where he's on top of the train. This guy and this armored guy inside the train is looking for him. So he's using the reflection of the glass of the buildings that they're running past to shoot this guy from the top of the train. It is pure action spectacle with a lot of smart-ass dialogue and just Ryan Gosling being generally cool. Chris Evans having so much fun playing the bad guy, and he feels like the psychotic younger brother to Kevin Kline's character from A Fish Called Wanda. And just everybody whips ass in this. Ana de Armas gets to do so much. I loved her in No Time to Die, but I agree with everyone else. I wanted to see more of her character, taking people down. She takes so many people down in this. There's a sequence where it's like she went to a rocket launcher store and has like unlimited ammo. It's just, the only caveat I will give to this movie is it does rely on a lot of shorthand from spy movies.
Okay.
Like, so you're going to hear lines like, "This is above your pay grade. We trained this man to be a ghost. I want him dead," that sort of thing. But I like that, and it's used the right way. So for me, that was perfectly fine, because the villainous backstory is something that we've seen before.
Okay.
But the real key to how this movie works is the characters reacting to their environment as if they've watched those movies themselves. And just the action is breathtaking. This thing never lets up. It'll take breaths to lay down a little more story and then get back to the action.
Let me ask you this, because it sounds like it rocks, right?
It rocks so damn hard. And again, go see this in a theater that knows to turn their shit loud, because I actually saw this at a press screening at Netflix's theater in New York, the Paris Theater, and it was nice and loud.
Why were you, you had a Facebook or Instagram story this week where it sounded like people are questioning whether or not they're fans of Gray Man. Why is that? There's been a very mixed reaction to this film. I've seen everything from some people just didn't like it, and some people are like, "Oh, this is the perfect movie for TBS. This is like a Tom Clancy ripoff where people are yelling this left and right, blah, blah, blah." And again, I think it's how much, that's why I said I mentioned a bit about the shorthand. I think that may be where people are getting caught up on, because the backstory, like the information that Ryan Gosling's character gets, it's a whole sinister plot that we have seen done before, but the thing is, it does it so well. Okay. And on top of that, this movie from the word go, it's really fast moving. It doesn't take a lot of time to get to where it's going. And it's like a little over 2 hours. And just by the time it was over, there's this really cool thing they do with the end credits where it's like pewter figures of the different characters, and they show events from the movie. And I almost forgot like some of the stuff that happened, because it's just that relentless and that breathless. Gotcha. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me. So Gray Man is a winner. What else is in theaters this weekend? So the other movie that I've seen for this weekend is literally a more independent film. It's called Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. It is based off of the novel from author Paul Gallico, who, surprisingly enough, also wrote the novel for The Poseidon Adventure. So the man that wrote the book The Poseidon Adventure is based off of wrote the book for this film. And in Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, we follow the character of Ada Harris, played by Leslie Manville, who is a cleaning woman in post-World War II London. Her husband went missing during the war, and she keeps hoping that, she'll find a sign that he's still out there. Unfortunately, she finds out that he passed. He died in a crash landing. But with that news comes the fact that his war pension is to be paid out to her. And all she really wants to do at the moment is she really wants to get a Christian Dior dress, like a 1950s Christian Dior dress that she sees at one of the houses that she cleans. So she takes the time to go to Paris. And from that point, it's basically like an adult fairy tale. It's like, what if it was all focused on Cinderella getting the ball gown? Yeah. And it's not specific, like she doesn't specifically have a ball to go to. But I was amazed how much I love this movie. It is, like I said, a pure adult fairy tale. It's absolutely gorgeous to watch. It's heartwarming. Leslie Manville herself is such a treat. And what's really fun is she's been in movies like Phantom Thread or Let Him Go. And she plays these really imposing villainous characters with just scowls and threats. And in this, she is a lovely, innocent, meek cleaning woman. And there are several shots of her like marveling at the dresses, and it's just like focused on her and her delight. And she lights up the damn screen. And then it's a funny movie. It's charming. There's a little bit of romance. There's some political commentary that's cleverly woven in there. It's got a wonderful cast with French actors like Isabelle Huppert, Lucas Bravo, and Lambert Wilson, the Merovingian from The Matrix. Gets to be a rich, charming man who sweeps our main character off her feet. And it was nice to see, and Jason Isaacs, Lucius Malfoy himself, is a friend
/ someone that wants to go out with Mrs. Harris. And it was just wonderful seeing this cast of people who them as like these villainous, imposing figures. And they're all just having so much fun and doing so brilliantly as these characters that there's no outward villain. There's antagonists, but they have their reasons. But it's just this beautiful story that unfolds in just a most spectacular manner. And if you are a Downton Abbey fan, I think this would be more in the wheelhouse of Downton Abbey fans. But at the same time, I wouldn't put anybody off from seeing this, because all you really need to relate to this character is you have to have had a dream.
Okay. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me. Two quick thoughts. Going back to Jason Isaacs for a second. He makes a great starship captain. I will say that.
Yes, he does.
My other thought, imagine a short movie, Cinderella getting all fixed up, and then the fairy godmother finding out, what do you mean you don't have a party to go to?
I like that. I like that a lot.
And then it turns into them trying to find a party for Cinderella to go to.
That's actually that's brilliant.
You're welcome, world. You're welcome.
There you go, folks. I
would
definitely go see this.
If anybody hears that and decides to make it into a short movie, I'd at least like to have you on for an interview and how you go, yeah, I listened to the podcast and I got the idea from you. That's all I really need. Unless you make millions of dollars and then I want my f***ing cut.
I think I'm ready to jump on that myself. We have to talk about this.
There you go. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. All right, so that's pretty much it for movies, new movies this week, right?
There's one other that I haven't seen. It's Where the Crawdads Sing, and the only reason I mentioned it is because this was like a novel that apparently took off by storm. Like,
okay.
So many people really... Oh, wait, is that this week? Let me double check.
I don't know.
Because my calendar for some reason says one date. Yeah, that's out today. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So apparently the Rotten Tomatoes is not good on this movie. You've got 34% out of 4 votes. And I mean, the hype going into this movie was like a huge best-selling novel. Reese Witherspoon picked it for her book club, and Taylor Swift wrote a brand new song for it because, I guess she was such a huge fan of the book. And it's about this young woman named Kaya, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, who we saw earlier this year in Fresh. She lives in the North Carolina marsh in the 1950s. Like, she's apparently, like, she's just it's kind of like a Tarzan sort of story when you think about it. Like, she just lives in the woods.
Okay. And
then this young man, Chase, played by Harris Dickinson, who we saw in The King's Man earlier. But yes, we saw him in The King's Man. As he plays a young man that is drawn to her, and there may be a romance, and he is later found dead, and she is accused of murdering him, and the case looks pretty good against her. So it's basically unfolding that sort of mystery. You can tell this is one of those books that every now and then it's a beach read that people really get into. You whisper about it to a friend, and they pick it up too. I'll tell you this much. Since we're recording on a Thursday, I was almost, since this was like a big deal, I was almost going to say, let's record on Friday, and then, I'll go see it tonight. And then I'm talking to my wife tonight because I figure, this morning. And I was like, she probably want to go too. Like, maybe she's usually mildly interested in most of the stuff that I'll mention. Yeah. She's like, no. Because apparently the author has been outed as a bit of a racist on social media. Don't quote me on that. But also just she was not even interested in the least, and it's like, okay, then I've seen The Gray Man. I think I've made my week. So
the most interesting thing you said about this whole movie was Reese Witherspoon to me.
Well, she also produced it. Like, she produced it, and she picked it up for the book club, and yeah, it was basically Reese Witherspoon and Taylor Swift are propping this thing up. And
wait, whoa. Is The Atlantic a real publication?
Yes.
I just searched the author, Delilah Owens, and 2 days ago from The Atlantic, Where the Crawdad Sings author wanted for questioning in murder.
What?
And on People, and...
And on Entertainment Weekly. I need to forward this to the newsroom because This feels like another case of a woman who wrote a book on how to murder your husband or accused of murdering her husband.
Yeah. Let's see. Alleged poacher's murder was filmed, and now, more than 25 years later, Owen is still sought for questioning in his death. That's according to Entertainment Weekly. How did we miss this?
Wow.
Got real quick there.
Yeah, that is the 11th act twist, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a good way to jump into news.
I'm not gonna lie. That's
news to me, Bob.
That's one of the funniest things I've seen all week. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so that story for Entertainment Weekly starts in '96. Delia Owens and her husband were the subjects of a documentary, Deadly Game, the Mark and Delia Owens story, about their work trying to save elephants from poachers in Zambia. So it looks like a poacher was murdered during the filming.
Okay.
So let's see here. The doc captures 3 rounds being fired at someone who host Meredith Vieira refers to as a trespasser, as no one was sure whether he was a poacher or not. The first shots happened before cameras started rolling, and it was unclear where the shots came from. So it looks like they're looking to question. The Atlantic did the original reporting, and Zambia's chief prosecutor says, I can't even go into the U.S. embassy with a camera. I want to know how Mark and Delia brought guns into Zambia and turned themselves into law enforcement agents. So I don't know if there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to read this Atlantic piece because, wow.
Yeah. What's funny?
And they're also saying the book is similar to what happened.
What's funny about this is like the movie about her actual life story and getting a movie and then being charged with murder again is more interesting than it sounds like the book.
Yeah.
To me, at least. I don't know. Anyways, well, we'll keep people up to date on this because by the time we talk again, it'll probably be something completely different. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. All right, over in the world of movie news, there's a lot of bits and bops and little nooks and crannies that we were going to go into today. We should probably start with the Munsters because that's actually something that's more than just opinion based. It actually happened. We got our first full look at a trailer for the Munsters. And going back to what we talked about a few weeks ago, Mike Reyes was quoted somewhere in the neighborhood of saying, I trust Rob Zombie with this material because he's such a fan with it. After seeing the first full trailer, what did we think, Mike?
I think that Rob Zombie was given the shaft. Or could have been given the shaft because the Munsters trailer looks painfully cheap. And I think what happened was, if I read this correctly, this is a project that was given to Universal's like streaming / direct-to-video movie division. So it's not like Rob Zombie was, I don't think Rob Zombie was given a Universal budget. I think he was given a direct-to-video budget because I believe this is going straight to Peacock. So they're like, yeah, you've done a lot with little money before. Here you go. Do the Munsters, man. And I have seen comparisons to porn parodies from this trailer. And
well, you know what the first mistake it is? And I know he loves his wife, but dropping her in everything is a mistake.
I don't mind Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily Munster. I don't mind that. My bigger problem is this just really does look like they just like maybe they reached into their pockets and gave him a couple bucks and said, "Here you go, do the Munsters."
Here's the thing about it.
And
real quick, I can sum this up because I saw the perfect description of this movie. And I don't remember, I don't have it in front of me, but to the person that did it, they came up with a great saying about this. This doesn't look like a movie. When you looked at the Addams Family, when the movie came out in the 90s and stuff, the Munsters are campy. The Addams Family is campy, but when the Addams Family movie came out, it still looked like a movie. This doesn't look like a movie.
I don't even think that the Addams Family is campy so much as it's very droll and like dark humor. The Munsters is definitely campy. The Munsters is definitely something that is beautifully campy because they've always been very tongue-in-cheek and broad with the humor, whereas Addams Family is very morbid and very sort of plays everything closer to the vest. But again, to your point,
Yeah,
The Addams Family was a movie.
Yeah, it looked like a movie, though. We can split hairs about what they actually were, but when you get down to it, when the movie came out, it looked like it was a movie. It looked like it was supposed to be a movie. This looks like, college kids making a high school project on a weekend.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna see it because it'll be on Peacock, so it'll be easy enough. But I'll, if they send me an advance link, I'll still watch this because it looked kind of cute, despite the fact that it does look severely under budgeted and just robbed of any sort of chance.
Yeah, it's just
really bad because that opening that they did looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks back when we saw them put up the video of reenacting the opening.
Yeah, it looks Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies and such.
Don't get mopey on me.
I was disappointed with it. I'm not going to lie. It was disappointing to see that.
No, I agree. I agree that I am worried about this, and it is disappointing. I'm going in with optimism, but I am very shocked that this is the trailer we got after that recreation of the opening and like all the pictures that we saw of like 1313 Mockingbird Lane being built. And, knowing Rob Zombie is a huge fan of this stuff, I have to wonder if he's sitting somewhere really upset, waiting until after the movie's done and released to say, okay, here's what really happened.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. This should have been a Universal movie. This should have been made for theaters. But, it's not the first time he's had problems with Universal because he originally made House of a Thousand Corpses for them, and they almost buried the movie completely after it was completed.
Yeah. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. All right. Let me get in. I know we've got some other movie and different news we want to hit on real quick. I want to go back to Thor: Love and Thunder because I want to get one thought out about the movie. I know we reviewed it last week. So Steph and I went and saw it this past weekend, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Was it the perfect Marvel movie? No, but I had an amazing thought during it because of Christian Bale. Christian Bale was amazing in it.
Christian Bale is one of the best parts of that movie.
Like, I wish we had a longer look at him doing his thing.
That's one of the things that bugged me because the movie opens with that wonderful, 5-10 minutes of him becoming Gore the God Killer. And I loved watching that. And then right from the beginning, I was kind of worried. It's like, oh, is this going to be one of those cases where that's going to be something I really miss later on in the movie? And I did. I like the movie.
Yeah.
But he was vastly underused.
So anyways, my thought in it is, if you go back, and there are spoilers here, if you go back to the part of the movie where he's got all the kids in the wagon and he kind of appears and starts kind of tormenting them a little bit, I got the feeling, my very first thought with it is Christian Bale could be the best Joker ever.
Maybe, but at the same time, I'm just really, he played Batman, so it feels like kind of too cozy of a casting, especially because, Batman and the Joker are just two sides of the same coin anyway.
I get it, but the way he kind of tormented the kids a little bit, like, I'm like, holy shit. He could be a really great Joker. I mean, even with the makeup he had and, like, the smile and all that, like, he was having fun torturing somebody. As bad as that sounds, he was having fun torturing somebody, and you put a green wig on him, and it's like, oh my God, this guy could be on par or better than Heath Ledger as the Joker.
I could see it, but at the same time, it's just let him do something else. Like, clearly, he brought this energy to Thor, and he clearly looks like he's having fun. I feel like if you cast him as the Joker, even if he takes it, I don't know if he takes it because he really wants to do it, and just
my other thought
it'd be interesting, but it's hard for me to say yes.
From the same scene, I got the feeling of he could be the Batman who laughs.
Maybe, but then that's a completely different problem where it's like he's playing Batman again.
I get it, but it's a completely different Batman and a completely different story. But I saw that scene, and that was my two thoughts from it, where he could be the Joker, he could be the Joker or the Batman who laughs. And I want to see both.
Well, thank you as always for your original casting prowess.
I think it would be amazing. So that's just the thing I wanted to bring up there. Real quick, as we do get towards the end of this, what do we want to wrap up with today?
I don't know. I mean, you've been driving this whole thing.
I've been driving it through ditches and it's crazy. Miss Marvel wrapped up, which I haven't watched the entire series. We watched about 10 minutes of it, and something happened, and we just never
I haven't
went
watched
back.
any of it.
Yeah, that's been kind of the feeling I've gotten from people, and it's either you really dig it or you don't.
Not that I'm disinterested. It's just I haven't had the time.
Like, we tried to watch it, and it just, like I said, something else came up, and it just never seemed important enough to go back to. And I feel bad for saying it like that, but sometimes I get that way with TV shows, and it's like the Orville. It's like, I'm just kind of disinterested in you right now. I don't need to go back. But the big
I'm to start the Orville.
The spoilers, apparently they had their first time they've mentioned mutants in it.
Yeah.
That there was a quote. I watched the scene and the kid says, yeah, there's a mutation in you. And she's like, oh, crazy, or, whatever reaction was. So it's like, okay. But to me, it kind of feels like having Professor X in there kind of already put that out there, right?
Yeah. And plus Wanda and Quicksilver. Like,
yeah.
We've been dancing around the subject of mutants already.
So,
and I mean, if that's the big reveal, then yeah, no.
The other thing,
I mean, again, I'm interested to watch it. It's just I haven't gotten to it, and Disney Plus has been the Disney Plus series have been very hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I still haven't started Hawkeye.
See, I liked Hawkeye. I liked Hawkeye a lot.
Loki is my favorite right now. Yeah. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really liked What If, but I think Loki and What If are my two favorites.
Yeah, I like Loki, What If. I liked Hawkeye. I really did. I thought it was fun. Moon Knight, I still don't know where to put it. I don't not like it, but I don't like it as much as some of the other folks out there. WandaVision is still weird to me, where some days I'm like, yeah, that was really good. Some days I'm not. Anyways, going back to it, the other thing, the post-credit scene of Miss Marvel was Captain Marvel showing up.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at with it too. So, all right, we're going to end this one on a downer this week, friends.
Yeah. I mean,
we could have ended on the murder story, so.
No, just, I know it's because they got to link it to the Marvel. I know that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, I know. Again, it's one of those things. It's, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, you good?
Yeah. Have we gone from Marvel fatigue to Marvel exhaustion? That's an op-ed on The Guardian.
There you go. All right. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every week to talk about movies. Mike, we'll end it there this week. Have a good one and enjoy more Marvel. Marvel.
You too,
Marvel.
man. Don't forget to eat your Marvel. Marvel.
And Marvel. Do you know what scene I was doing there?
I still love the Marvel fanfare, though. Being John Malkovich?
Nope.
What?
Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase.
That narrows it down. Spies Like Us?
Yes, doctor, and doctor. Marvel, and Marvel.
There you go, folks. Your obscure 80s reference for the week. I will say, I do still love the Marvel fanfare, though. It's like I can still hear that and be delighted, even though I may not always like what's on the other side of it.
Oh, that's the thing. It's not like they put out stuff that looks shitty like the Munsters, you know?
Well, a lot of people have been complaining about their special effects, especially because of how hard they work their crews. Apparently,
I did see that.
Toxic work environment as well. And also, a lot of people have mentioned that they're kind of samey looking.
I can see that.
It doesn't look like the Munsters, but at the same time, it doesn't look like Interstellar or...
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of another big, effects movie.
All right. Eat my hammer. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line. You have yourself a great week.
You too, man.
All right.